everything to work. You set up your VoIP solution. People could call each other, incoming and outgoing calls working. So you had the main things up and running, voicemail, everything. You had all these things. Now you want the bells and the whistles, to work, right? So this first one is like the directory where you can you want to call Nigel, you don't know Nigel extension, you just go in the directory and you type in Nigel and you go see it come up. So I what it's more or less saying here. And you can also see other things like your missed calls and calls that you receive, and they give all your stats and so on inside here. Right, you could search by first name or last name. You say you know, it have about 4 Nigels in the organization, you might just try it. Much Nigels in Fujitsu, Nigel. You and Nigel can.
I thought Charles as well.
Oh yes, Charles. Right. And our contractor well during the court rule out and thing, Nigel picked us. So very common name, Nigel. So for court manager, this is kind of this local directory is probably you don't really have to set up this too much, because once especially if you integrate with AD and so on, this I think it is 1 or 2 steps you may have to put in, but you may have to start the service or something like that. But I can't remember really doing too much configuration for this local directory entries, because whether you enter the users manually or using LDAP, it populates and so on. And you could assign users to phones and so on. Once you assign your users to phones and so on, it normally comes up. To be honest, I can't remember actually configuring directories in Code Manager. But in CME, you have to do some configuration. See in the box here, you could choose whether, so you put it, if you put the question marks after directory, you will see you could put in an entry, or you could use the first name first or last name first. In this case, they choose last name first. Or you can use a directory now. Directory entry, they use 1 in this case. And you put in 1599 and the name, corporate fax. So you see there. So like a machine and so on, like a fax machine, you could actually put in the extension and give it a label and give it a name. Right, and this is from the GUI side. So I can make out here. So I have a user. Can't make out the first name. Can't make out 9 names. There's some. So let's see, the CCP to manage call ID and local directory, the GUI performs the call ID assignment for you. If you're using the GUI, you actually assign user to extension, to a phone/extension. That's how you do it when you're using CCP. Yeah. All right. So also upstairs it wasn't the ATP with all your phones. Okay, the IP. All right. So you come down. Right. So this is call manager here now, right? So it, phones are associated with MAC address. So don't matter where you go in the building, and call manager, the phone try to register and the call manager checks the MAC address and will know that phone is extension 2000 address, um, and it takes all the previous configuration where it had before. It just assigns everything back to the phone, right? Simple as that.
So
That's the main thing. Yeah, like for Cisco phones, for third party phones, it works a little different. That would be more user. Yeah, that would be more user. Yeah, user is mapped to, to the third party phone, and that's how it will. Um, that's how it will know the get all the information. So you set up in a MAC address, but you can put in that case you can put in a dummy MAC address for third party phones, but for Cisco phones, you must use the MAC address. Right. So all the telling in this page here, so with using CCP. So if you're configuring it from the CLI, it's you associate the phone to the DNs, which is the directory numbers, right? But if you're configuring using the GUI, what you will do is you create how to put it. So they are already associated to the account. So you create a user and you could put the phone and everything, the MAC address and so on. And so you put in the username, the MAC address, and the directory number on a on our page now. So you're going through our wizard and you reach the user and you will put in everything there one time. Right? So you can use the person name and all of that and at one time. Like I said, I've already configured I'm just going by what I read earlier on from this thing because at least I did some configuration from the CLI when I now started, but I never used CCP. So, right? But there's an easier way to configure CME than use it actually because it probably is more work and so on to actually use the CLI if you have plenty phones and so on. I use a lab environment with about 5 phones or something. So I just use the CLI. Right, so the rest of the this is just where, so if you want to ever decide to lab this, they just give you the way we actually go to unified communications, advanced telephony settings, and system config. And if you want to create manual directory, that is the part that you take here. So it was kind of hard for me. I don't want to read. I can't really go through the GUI that much. This is where I'm more comfortable with this. Yeah. Right. So you put in your directory, and then you can tell the system whether to use first name or last name first, or you could do a manual config and put in the directory entry number and put an extension next after that, and then you put in the name. Right? Well, I know everybody, call forwarding is something you could do both ways. The user could do it for themselves, but the system the system have to allow you to because if I block that, right? If the administrator block that, you would be able to forward calls, go on your phone and press the forward button and put in the whether you want to transfer it to your cell phone or your or to another extension. You know you're going and working like by us Nigeria. If you know you're gonna be working and staging for the whole day, you could forward your phone to the phone, forward your calls to the phone and staging, right?
Yeah.
But if you know you're out and that allow you to forward to your cell phone, you can also do that. You know you're out for the day, so when people call, it will forward the call to your cell phone, right? So we were using the call forward pattern, right? So that would tell you here in the box. If you want, you could forward calls to your voicemail. You just press the call forward button followed by the messages button on the IP phone. And this is how it's done by the CLI. Right, so that's the administrator is doing it. So if phone DN1, DN21, and then you go and that's so if your directory number is 21, well, not the directory number, but so how the phones are configured, you can have if you have 100 directory numbers. So you start from one, so you put ephone DN1, and then you could put your directory number on that after that. And then the next directory number you configure, that will be the ephone DN2. So this 21 will actually be associated to an extension, right? But if you want to, so let's say 21, ephone DN21 is the extension under that is 2000. You don't want to put ephone DN2000. You put in ephone DN21, which is mapped to 2000, and then you put call forward, right? And then you can choose all, say forward all your calls or busy, whatever, right? So call forward busy 1599, right? Yeah, the call forward NOAN, which is no answer, 1599, right? Call forward no answer timeout. So you also have a time, right? And I believe that should be the number of times the ring will take. That's a lot, 25 seconds. It should ring for 25 seconds. I believe that is what the time is. So that 1599 in this case, I think the saying here is a voicemail number, right? So this come like you said, and all these busy and no answer and so on to voicemail. So the saying here also, if you put it to the call, if you put in this command here, call forward max length 0, right? It makes the call forward feature unavailable on that phone. So you don't want so the person it will just ring out and just disconnect after. No voicemail. Right, so this is the call forward and for the H450.3, right? So what they are saying here is suppose this person here know their work. So this person in California know they will be working out of Florida for a while. They might just they will go on the phone or they might ask the administrator to put a call forward on this phone. So when somebody calls them here at extension 1002, it will call this phone because they are working currently in Florida, right? So what will happen by default if you don't put this, if this is all call forward and work without this H.450.3, right? So somebody calls it, it goes through their CME, it goes over the one, it goes to California, it hits extension 102, and extension 102 will now forward that back to the CME, back to the CME in Florida, and then hits the 103. It rings 103. The disadvantage of that is if sometimes that could degrade because you are doing a hop, it had a pass through a hop. So it goes through one extension 102 before it goes to 103. It's the call quality could drop. So you want a way that will the CME will know, the CME in California will know that this phone is called forward into 103, and it will automatically redirect the call from Texas to Florida. So once somebody does 102, it will reach the phone, CME will realize, hey, this person, this number is redirected to 103, so they'll come here first. That go directly to Florida because the person right now is in Florida. Right? They say this is something called this. Right. So they're saying here this can cause intense quality of service problems with the phone, such as audio clipping, distortion, and even call drops. And they say that it is called hairpinning. Right? But they say that well, just like what we showed, the other one is where the 450.3 is enabled. When the call reaches California, CME sends the 450.3 base redirect message instead of accepting the call. So CME that in California wouldn't accept the call, it will just use the redirect message. So you use the command call forward pattern, and then you put in that pattern here. So to tell the CME which number should support the 450 standard. Now this is right. So you see the thing in the green box. This is really more advanced configuration, and this is really under the CCNP. Well, it don't say CCNP voice again, but so this could be really under the CCNP collaboration and voice again. So CCNP collaboration. If you want to go more deeper into this, but this is just a broad overview how it works. So if you enter the 15.1, it tells this. So you could put call forward pattern 1500, no 15 dot dot, and this will tell the CME that once you see 15 dot dot, somebody calling that number, use the redirect, the H.450.3, right? So all calls to 15XX extension will support that, will accept the 450.3 call forward. Right, and this is how it's done under the GUI. Right, so they give you the path again. And you can see on the table, well, I don't know if you can see, but they tell you how to forward all calls to this pattern, this 1602 555 1212. Right, so any questions with that? Because I remember that there's more config state, but this is CCNA. Right. Yeah. Which highly unlikely will ever touch CME.
Yeah, because of
Right, so
the
yeah, like I said, I've never gotten a request to actually to set up a CME. Everybody wants call management. the full blown stuff. But CME works really well. Office of the Prime Minister used CME until up to last year when we put them on government voice servers. When I did the project around what, I think before August, July, somewhere around about a year ago. But just that the CME version was kind of outdated. That was the only problem. So that's why they decided that they did something. So core transfer, which is fairly straightforward. Everybody know what a call transfer is, right? You just press it you on a call it, and you want to transfer it to somebody else. You just hit the transfer key, soft key, and then you put in the who you want to transfer it to, and you press transfer again, and the call completes. But there are two ways you can set it up. You could do a consult. So I want to transfer to Niger. I can consult. I will, but before I press transfer again, say press transfer, then you dial Niger extension, Niger answer the phone. You can transfer, I can say Niger. Cohen trying to call you. You will let her take the call? Now, boy, I don't hear from Cohen now. So, and I would just go out to Cohen and tell him, Niger is not available right now. Or you can do the blind, what most people do. I just send it to Niger, press transfer again, and they call Niger phone rings. So that's the blind transfer. Right? So this is the command, more or less telephone. You put in the telephony servers and then you put transfer system, and they give you the option to either full blind, full consult, and local. The local consult is something kind of, I can't remember too much what's the difference between the full consult and the local consult. What I tell them here is that perform calls transfer with local consultation using second phone. So I think here you have to have a second phone line, but I never really practiced it. These kind of, normally if I do in CME, I would have practiced to see how it works differently. Right? But this is a Cisco proprietary method. So let's say the full blind and the full consult industry standard that the 450.2 for transferring. So if you use the right, so what I tell you is as far as I understand it, so once I transfer, the CME will completely drop the call and from transferring phone and start a new call. So it drops so you transfer your drops. How I understand and this mean is that you drop the call and it before it starts a new phone. So you send a call to Nigel, you transfer a call to Nigel, and before CME, before the call has started between the person who I transferred, between Nigel and the person who called, it completely drops the call. That's how I understand what they are saying, right? So the proprietary method, they say you must have multiple lines or a dual line. If you only have a single line, it will go to it will use the blind transfer. Right? Like I said, I'm not too familiar. Familiar with the Cisco proprietary method. Right. So the other paragraph here is telling you if I could try, people could do a kind of smart thing, right? So Nigel, Nigel call. So Nigel here in Trinidad, I inside the office, and Nigel want to get a free, well, they want to pay for the long distance call. So all I had to do is so I said, Nigel, boy, what you have to do? Call me in the office, and when you call me, I will transfer the call to international. So who will be paying for the international call there? Yeah. Right. So by default it blocks it, but you could actually you could go in and use the transfer um, pattern command, right? And this will so where pattern represents numbers which you would like to allow transfers. So somebody call, I can set it up. I can even go home now. I can even go home and ring my phone, and it will. So if I know the person who I want to call overseas, I could put it in there. So let me show you the. What's that? See what that? What's that? Come right. Page. Right. So in CME, I don't know if you could actually so when we're doing so call forwarding, I don't know what you're doing, right? So in call manager, we will limit them to who they can set transfer to. So some people might be limited. You only can transfer your calls to an internal extension. If you try to forward it to a cell phone or anything or international number or something, the system wouldn't, the phone wouldn't take it, right? It might give managers the ability to forward their calls to their cell phones and so on. But but by default it does not allow it in call manager also. You have to actually set up that. I could always go in call manager and show you. Um, but in this case, the 5 dot dot dot. So if your extension is 5555, you could go in and so once somebody calls that number, it gets transferred to an international number. So I could set up that in the office, and all I had to do every time I try to call, let me say I want to call my sister in America, in New York, I just call my extension, and that calls get routed to my sister's cell number. 52 pays the pay for it. And this is how it's done in TCP. Right? So before you go to Gold Park, let me see if I can just pull up. Okay. So this is NIB's call manager. Because I am an NIB VPN right now, I have to just show this quickly. So my partner fits extension. I choose that. Right. So if I want to block, so this is my good friend fits in NIB. This is his extension. So if I choose none right now and I click save, well, I won't save it, right? Because I don't want to block it. If I choose none forward, so this is forward, this left hand side, I forward all. So you can tell them to forward all to voicemail. So you check that box. Or you could put you could put you have access to this, or he's one of the administrators for the call manager in NI. So if you want to transfer it to his cell phone, you could just put in a cell phone number here, or you could put an extension. But the easier way to do this on your phone. But if you are admin, if you have access to the system, you can come in here and do all, even do it you have more options here. And then I could you could come here now, and so inside here gives you the privilege, just your search space, where what you could, so this limits it for what you can transfer to. So like I said, yeah, yeah. So if you go on your phone and you put call forward 4,000 to forward all your calls to 4,000. When I come in here, I will see the 4,000 there. Right? Right. So like I say, if I click save and he go on the phone now and try to forward a call, he go on now what? Because every time you put in press the call forward button and you put whatever you want to forward it to, it wouldn't take it. Right? But you could also limit, as you all get to understand partition and call search spaces, you will understand this better. But you could limit the person to just call um people who have this extension here. So I think yeah, let us CSS users. Let me go over to come back. Right. So you see where he had this QPE, right? All right, here what I'm gonna do. When we because you have to understand you have to understand search space before you can really understand what that limit is. But just know that right now, this limits to this this what this limits. He limits himself to just be able to transfer to users inside of NIB. Right? But you will understand this further on when we go into call manager and you understand search spaces. But on the left hand side you can see forward busy. So you can, these boxes are checked here. So if it's busy, go to voicemail. See voicemail on top here, right? So if somebody calls this extension from external now, he didn't check the box here, the one on top. Say somebody calls internally, because that box isn't checked, it wouldn't go to voicemail. It would just ring out and jump, right? But for external people, it will go to voicemail, no answer, voicemail, both internal and external. If he does not answer, it will go to voicemail, right? And if the phone is unregistered, it will also go to voicemail, right? So that is more or less how it works. I saw call forward, it works on the system. Give me a second. Let's quick a quick peek and see. It seems to be manageable still. I had a cut off before some about maybe 20 minutes or so. Because I need to set up we're going to do a joint troubleshooting session with TSTT and Cisco. So I'm around 20 to 10 or something. I might be able to go further than that with this moment. Right, so this is Cole Park. Right. So Cole Park. The name kind of say what it does. You're parking a call. So somebody, let me see if I remember how this, because people that's hardly ask for these things. And I was telling them about it when we start our workshop and so on. And they may say yeah, but there's nothing big to them. Right? But let's see if I just refresh my memory. Yeah. Right. So somebody call for Nigel, and so if somebody call Nigel and Nigel is not not close to you or anything like that, you could actually park the call. You press the park button and then tell Nigel, hey Nigel, you have a call. The Nigel is in a different department. Right, I think the what is called it? The people over the not the intercom, the announcement here that's make over the speaker in your office now. Ooh, let's just go. Right. Yeah, so they can make an announcement. Nigel, you have a call on this line, right? So the person parks the call for you and they can make an announcement and you don't have to come downstairs. So either call your so let's say they call your extension and somebody park the call. You don't have to come downstairs on your phone to actually pick up the call. You just take a phone upstairs wherever you are and you just dial the number. They will tell you your call is parked on 1000. You just take up a phone, press 1000 and you can get the call. Right? So it really allows you to retrieve the phone from retrieve the call from any phone. You just have to, you just have to press the number. They will tell you whatever number that they parked it on. Right? It's kind of sketchy in my head because really and truly people doesn't really take these features. Each of these scenarios fits different environments. Calls being parked at random extent might work well for a warehouse or for a paging system. Right? So it's paging, yeah. Yeah, you say P, right? Which is paging wherever. Now you would have elected for paging. So when an employee has a call, the receptionist can announce, Larry, you have a call on 5913 over the loudspeaker, at which Larry could go to your phone and dial the extension to pick up the call. Right? The telephone work for like electronic superstores, so on. So you could designate extensions for different departments. So you have software department is 301, cameras will be 302 and so on. Receptionists can then park the call. So most time it will happen with the receptionist. So somebody calling to calling to Fujitsu. Nicolette answers the call. She know Nigel is in the building. I know Fujitsu don't have a PA system, but let's say we have a PA system. And she know Nigel has so many buildings. She can say, Nigel, pick up the call on 301 or whatever. Right? So she will park it first and then it will and then make the announcement.
I had
So,
to step
yes.
away. Sorry, Martin. I had to step away for
Go
a few minutes, right? But quick question. Based on that PA type call alert type of thing, like when a call comes through for a certain individual or department. Here in Barbados, Wendy does and Mercedes does something on the phone where they actually press a key or something and they announce it, and it comes over like a PA system on everyone's phones.
Oh, wait now. Saying Barbados, you all have paging via your phones then.
It seems so. when
Yeah.
when
And
when a,
look at the name, I tell it on the trainer office.
oh, because yeah, when everybody's phone that's phone would light up and they are a call Corinne call
So
at the
you'll hear
front desk.
the announcement through the phone.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we will see how that works later on. I think they will have I think I saw when I was just browsing through, I saw paging. So
Oh,
it's paging.
that's a different feature.
So instead of using, not all companies may have the speakers and the seat, and I think they make the announcements.
Mhm.
So they will use paging through the phones. I know I said that for a few companies, the paging, right? Interestingly, CME, I think paging is free. So if you have 100 phones, you can set up 100 phone. If you have call manager though, the free license give you a maximum of 50 extensions that it will page. Right. So what I will normally tell people, nobody ever buys the page to get the full to get the license version. Everybody will use the free version. So like Office of the Prime Minister, they have about 150, well, they merged now, so it might be more, but originally when we did the project, it was about 150 people. And I told them, well, there's no way. Now, there was kind of vexed that they lost the feature because they had CME before, and they were able to page everybody one time. So everybody phone you will hear the message. I tell them, but call manager that they limited to 50. So what I had was to do, so you could create groups. So groups are group limited to 50 extension paging phones now. Right. So what I was to do is have a paging number for ground floor, level 1, 2, and 3. I want to do it. So I told the guy who does normally do the paging and say, well, no, we have to. You can't page the whole building simultaneously. So if you have to make an announcement, you have to do the level 1 press. I put the speed dials on his well, I think he had his phone now about 6 lines. So I put speed dials on his phone. So if you want to ring ground, if you want to page ground floor, he press that. He do his speed dial and he announced his message. Then he had to press for level 1. It's not, he didn't like, well, I understand why you like it, because you say something that you need to page everybody one time, everybody won't get the message. You have to do it by flow, but I said that the best, unless you are willing to buy the license. That's how it had to work.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm surprised we have never done it. Yeah. Which have you been around? What? Voice lab, right? Yeah, but how you linking it to only phones? And right, so what I'm saying is if we build a lab, if we build a lab station, wait now, I know anyhow. If we build a lab station and we cut a call manager, we saw call manager and so on. Like we say we do it a call manager lab. And we take our 4 phones, because that's our phones in station. Your page, I think will be limited to those 4 phones. If you wanted to we wanted to do all to use 52 phones, people phones in the office. I don't know if it's on page is multicast. I don't know if you can get that over the one. That's the only thing.
Yeah, right. That would be interesting. Over the one.
Yeah, but I mark how do that time to go? I surprised that marker and period and never set it up in training. But of course, me, Dave, and Rohini and them don't have access to that one, man.
That's true, because ISG and take over certain things.
Yeah, I she if when they had to do any stuff like upgrade or any kind of advanced stuff, you just do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, here's handle. Yes, and for all the call managers in Trinidad, Barbados, and Jamaica. I remember when he was helping Garfield, when Garfield was still with Fujitsu in Jamaica, he used to be helping Garfield with upgrades and things.
We're constantly testing things. Yeah, in the office.
And just a very good voice, man.
Yeah, I know. That's his passion.
Yeah, just a good voice, man. I remember he was trying to get the CCNA. I don't know if he was successful, though. If he was successful, they would have known.
He do the written I get through, but then he was trying to push for the lab
The lab.
before it changed and he didn't get through. But then it changed format complete, it revamped everything.
Yeah.
So he said that throw him off because he was like he went in, he overthink it and he ran out of time. So
Yeah,
he
and
focused.
he was overthinking. Because you know what happened? I had an upgrade for Ministry of Science and Technology. It's technology in Jamaica. It's called an MSET. So I was busy with the water stabilization project. So I told them I'd already do have the bandwidth right now to do the upgrade for MSET in Jamaica. So they tell me Andrew will do it. Well, he called Andrew and Andrew told them yes. I saw Andrew's email to it's not too much Ricardo. He was working. Ricardo is not on the call yet. It was Ricardo he was supposed to be working with. So because he said he didn't have a man on the ground in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
And I see Andrew send an email to Ricardo and so on. And if you see things Andrew wanted, I say, my God, all that, boy. You see things in the email.
Yeah.
You know, really thing. Do this, do that. He want the setup so much.
Yeah,
It came back to me. It came back to me when we had a little break in the stabilization for I probably was off a weekend or so. And Dave asked me, because I think Andrew was having a problem reaching the customer. The customer wasn't responding. Andrew asked them when on already. And the customer wasn't responding. So he came back to me, like Andrew must get fed up. And he came back to me. And I knew what I didn't use anybody on the ground in Jamaica. I just went directly to the customer. I say all I need, let me do a Zoom and I will take control and I will do it. I don't need nobody on the ground. We only have to install this and we can want to go to the site and install software and all kind of and get cut here to put this laptop on the customer's network, voice network and all of those things. I didn't go through all that. I just tell them when you use Zoom, make sure your laptop have communication to the call manager, and I did the upgrade. Easy, simple, you know.
Yeah.
I guess before the few days leading up to it, I told them I sent some email with some links and so on where they could go and download the call manager upgrade image and so on. And yeah, that was simple as that. When I saw what Andrew, I said, hey, boy. Andrew, he really has go down to the nitty-gritty, boy.
Yeah.
Yesterday, why he didn't in time because he overthink it.
Yeah, he I think his method of attack, he realized that it wasn't where it's supposed to be, so he told himself that he would try it again, but the Ranoka the time to do it in terms of before the restructuring, and since then he's in security now, so I think most of his efforts were
I know he's security.
Yeah, most of his efforts were focused on those certs and that sort of stuff.
Let's hope that he made the same mistake if he decided to go for CCNA.
Yeah, and they said that, all right, well, I didn't want to say it this way, but they said that voice probably is none of them are easy. But they said if you prefer to go after one, to go after voice. Because instead of like routing and switching our security and stuff, so he will definitely have it harder in security. I don't know. That was just the feedback.
Yeah. The good thing about security and thing now, Cisco certifications is once you do the CCNP, that come like a baby recruit for CCN for the lab.
Yeah,
No,
but I've been hard.
Right now, Right
Yeah.
now right now I do CCNP security.
Oh, what? So wait, you doing
I
the
like to
core?
tell you. So
You doing the core? Cause I start, cause I
yes, the
want,
core.
I doing that too. I buy the book, but I ain't had time to really start directly. Like, you know, cause my focus for this year was a couple of security certs. So I was saying I can get the CCNP security, and that will recertify my CCNP enterprise and design and that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
but that is my plan too, because if I pass the CCNP security, it would recertify
the
my
voice and
CCNP
all that.
collaboration. Yeah.
Yeah, right, right. So I didn't know you're doing it, man. We could do some study, man. Yeah, yeah. So that's good food for thought. We could get Nigel into this too. Nigel.
I know Niger doing plenty things. I need to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow, right. So you're setting up your ePhone's your directory number. So you put ePhone let me say you're now configuring your 50th phone. Not your 50th phone, your 50th directory number. You put your ePhone DN50 and you put the number on it, number 3001. So this is what happened. You have to have for call park, you have to have extra directory number. So you can't use somebody else directory number to configure your DN, to configure your call park. You have to create these as pair directory numbers. So you have to work out how much directory numbers you will want for you will need for call parking. So you're creating it. So let's say you have 49 people, well 50 people. Yeah, it starts from one, so it could be 50. So let's say you have 40 something people, phones, tighter directory numbers. You decide to say, okay, let me start from 50. So you phone the N50 and you give it a number and you give it a name. Yeah. So this will come like the maintenance department and you put the park slot command on like knowing that this DNS, this directory number is for really for call park. Right? And they do the same thing for sales and so on. And if you give it a timeout, I think it's in seconds. Well, yeah, it got to be seconds. I don't think you can't keep somebody on hold for an hour. So it could be, you can give it like 60 seconds. That if the person doesn't pick up the call after that time, you right, the call will return to the park to the number, to the original number, and then you can limit. So you can also what they're saying here is specify the number of park timeout cycles before the call is disconnected. So you can give it some cycles. So as you can see, there's a lot of, I think it's on a table below here that actually tells you the options. So you have an idea. So this first one here, that this allows you to reserve the call park slot for the directory number. So this reserves the number for call parking, right? So other phones, you can't use that call park slot. Right? The second, the number of times the CME should wait before notifying the phone that park the call is still parked. So you park a call, and after a certain amount of seconds, it will notify the phone that the call is still parked. The person never picked up the call then, you know. So it will ring the phone for a second, and then the LCD and displays a message on the LCD. So this timeout intervals, limited number of timeout intervals a call can reach. After this, the limited rating, the park call is disconnected. So what I'm telling you here is you should set that limit count to high, because if it's low and the person waiting all that time on hold and then and they get disconnected, I will irritate the person. After I wait all this time and then the call just jump, right? So you know you want to make it high, so they will give the person a longer time to be on hold. So they notify DN, notify the friend DN, in addition to the phone that park the call when the call reaches time on period. Right. So instead of so but by default, if after a certain time reach, it will notify the phone that parked the call that the person has been picked up as it. But you could change that and let it notify a different phone. Right? Use for so this is only command used for prior notify syntax. Instruct CME to only to ring the DN specified with the notified phone rather than ring the original phone. I think I catch that off the back. Let's get that. We call causes the call to return to the original phone that parked the call after the park call reaches its time. Causes the call to transfer to a specific DN after the call reaches the time or period. Right, so this is things I love to lab just to see how it works. To really get a really good understanding. I know Nigel has been in the office sometime. You in the office today, Nigel? Oh, but I know when you're ready to do some labs, you could probably be our person in the office. Because I have a couple phones in the office. Well, it will be CME though, it will be call manager. So we're ready to do the call manager labs. Right? Yeah, because that's the one that we already. That's like have an idea how CME works, right? But the real practice will be on call manager, which at 99% of the time you will be using. You know, if you really get seriously into collaboration. So to park a call, simply press the right. So this is just telling you how to park the call and so on. So to park a call, simply press the park while an active call. CME finds a parking slot for the call and send a message back to the phone that the call that parked the call. Right? So when I use a park the call, CME request the first available park slot. So remember you created some parks up above. And so it will use the first one. But I think you could tell it which you want to park it at. Right, so sometimes you may want to designate which packets that they call against in cases such as those in which the each department copy has an name. So in this case, you can transfer the code directly into the packets that you want. Right, going back to you, Nigel, I know I had in 1971, so you will have a video phone to use. I will have to come in and set it up. Ooh, where will we set up code manager? I see anything. Anyhow, according to you, you work on something.
You working on something for Barbados? All right.
Right, so and then this here now telling you how we could pick up the a call at a spark. You could directly you can lift the headphone and dial either tell you your call is spark on 3001, you just lift the phone and dial that and you should be able to retrieve the call. You can use the pickup key and dial the call back number you want to answer. Right? And then from the phone which you call was spark, press the pickup key, so key followed by the asterisk to record. So that's how you can record it from the original phone. Right? But this is CCP here. Right, and this is, let's see what I can make out with that here. So part is unified communication, telephone, features, call. And then they take it with a name, number of slots 10, starting number 1300. So from 1300 to 1309, you will have that call slots in this scenario. And then actually advanced tab configuration window give you numerous options. Right, so you get set reminder to extensions, you can choose the extension to remind and so on. Right, well, everybody know what call pickup is? Right, so sales, so you create the groups, sales is 5509 and accounting is 5510. So you pick up groups number. And this is how you configure it. You phone DN1 and you pick up group 5509. So on the ePhone DN1, let me say ePhone DN1 is the number is 4000. And then I take and pick up group 5509. Right? And I do the same for all these different directory numbers. ePhone DN2, 5509. So all these first three phones, these first three groups. So these three phones that is assigned to this to ePhone DN1, 2, and 3 will all have the pickup group of 5509. So these three people belong in that pickup group. So if you call 4000, DN1 is 4000, you call and you call, so you call 4000. Any one of these phones here, just pick up. You could just pick press the pickup key, the pickup button, the soft key, and they will be able to pull the code. So let me say ePhone DN2 is 4001 and somebody rings 4000 and 4000 is not there, you could just pick up your phone, or sometimes if you see the button, if you see the soft key on the phone, you just press the pickup and you could be able to pull that person for the same thing for this group here. Right? So the first three directory numbers is 5509 and 5510 is the other 3 DN. So that is another group. But you could pull the second call manager, you could even pull somebody calls from a different department. Upstairs and upstairs, we started when they used to be Nigel, because I don't know nobody up there right now. Well, they used to call it RMS, what the service desk now. I think you want okay, but you all can pick up each other calls? Calls? Okay, so they didn't say that. Interestingly, downstairs now, they never set up pickup groups. Only TCM, well, back in those it was TCM. TCM could have pull each other calls. So they only see it, they didn't really see any reason for engineers and so on to be put in other people's calls. So after you assign the phone DMs, so CME permits 3 methods to answer other ringing phones. So you could do a directed pickup. You can pick up another ringing phone directly by pressing the pickup soft key, what you're talking about. And then, well, I don't know if it works different with CME. Because with I know how it works. But the person here, you don't want to dial any number. Once the person is in your pickup group, once you press that pickup soft key, you will pull that call automatically. Right? I know if you're trying to pull somebody from a different department who probably might not be in your pickup group, then you have to know that pickup group number. So let's say somebody in so people in sales, right? Will be able to pick up each other calls automatically. But if our accounting is not that far, you can hear somebody in our accounting phone ringing. You can press the pickup key But and dial 5510, and then you will pull the call from the other part. Let me say same. You can pick up the another ringing phone directly by pressing the pick up, so you can dial any DM of the ringing phone. Same, and then transfer the call and immediately direct answers to the local phone. Alright. You can pick up another ringing phone in the same call pickup as your phone by pressing the group pickup button and enter the asterisk. So you look like you can see me at the end of something. And then this is where you can pick up the ringing phone in another group by pressing the group pickup. So it had a group pickup button and enter any other group number where you hear the phone dial. So it's interesting there. And I like to see somebody who have CME if you really have to dial something. You use pickup, you want both of you want to use pickup groups already, right? Pete, yeah. Now you use it already? Yeah. But you ever try to pull somebody call? You never try to pull a call like that call, eh? Yeah. All right. So the group pickups of the functions differently depending on the call pickup group configuration. If there's one group configured in CME, pressing the group pickup button automatically answers the call. That's how I know it does it. Right? You're not here a second there. Yeah, that's interested in CME. Yeah. But I shared lines. Yeah. Well, now that's different from pickup group because the pickup group is only one phone within. That is phone and the phone. Right? So, but if you are shared lines, it's every phone ringing. Yeah. Because all they had more than one extension on all their phone. When you call my job, I show you the whole I set up. Right? This is how we do it. If you get pick up group number and then you choose which directory numbers you put it into the group. If you were to click the label button, CCP, oh, remember this is Cisco. I think both of them would have done some conflicts on the ASAs and so on, right? Cisco ASA firewall,
Yeah.
right? So you can view the configuration before you send it to the firewall.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I see sometimes if I configure using the GUI, I know with the GUI again for ASA.
CLI? Oh, the go ASDM or
Yeah,
ADSM.
yeah.
I'll get them mixed up.
And then you show here when you show the command, and when I see the kind of command and thing, I say, really?
Yeah, sometimes it's not. See some funny things.
Right, so intercoms, trying to get one, which I just nibble some quick here. So intercom is something, it come like a speed dial. So a secretary have working with a manager, she could just press that intercom button, send a message, and that is it. That's one way. That kind of one-way message. Yeah, so right. So if the administrator system presses the button configured as an intercom, it speaks as the executive phone, which auto answers the call on the speaker. So like I said, the secretary could just deliver a quick message. The other side is muted, so it's not a two-way stuff. But there's a way you can establish a two-way communication. So right, so what are the yeah, but yeah, similar. Yeah, it's not just one-to-one. So the PA is everybody, all the phones, it's all the phones. Whereas this one is a one-to-one. Right, so this is how you configure it. You put the under the directory number, you choose the directory number and you put in your E100, you label it. Right, so you label it, and you do the same thing on ePhone DN61. You put in the number and you label it. And then on the ePhone DN1, so this is how you configure the phone now. So let's say it's the first phone you want to configure here. So you put ePhone DN1. Normally when they show the full configs, but normally you will put the MAC address and thing under the ePhone DN1. Just like call manager, you see me use MAC address to register his phones. Right? So this button 2. So let's say you have more than one line. So let's say for simplicity, you have 2 lines on the phone. You could tell it button 2, which is the second button on your phone, and you put DN60, and you put the directory number. So the colon tells you to which directory number to map the phone to and which button. So let's say this. So this is ePhone. This is our phone here, ePhone DN1, and you put the button. So let's say ePhone DN1. The full config is ePhone DN1 number. Not this intercom number, but the actual number. The phone is 4,000. When you associate, but you can associate this now. The 60. So the 2 is tells you which button it is on the phone, and the 60 maps the DN with this phone. So in this case, you can see that 60 is mapped to this DN number here. You understand? You get it?
Yeah.
Right. And the same thing with ePhone DN2. Now they didn't put in 1 because most likely 1 might be the person's extension. So let's say ePhone DN20 is 4,000. You might under this command, if you do a show run and you look on that ePhone 1, guess that. Yeah. Right. So most likely they may have button 1 colon 20 if to map the 4,000 to this phone to the first button on the phone. But in this case, we are mapping the intercom here. So they put the intercom on the second line, more or less. Right, so I know you don't dial the A100. I'm trying to remember what the A really represents. You cannot dial this number, right? So you would press the A, of course. So I just right. So like I said, access a speed dial in case the phone DN60, the command intercom A101 dials the number A101. So this come like so you have the manager and the assistant here, and so the manager is A100 and the assistant is 101. So if you press that speed dial, so if the assistant presses his speed dial button, it will ring the manager. It will ring the manager. Right, so you press a speed dial, it ring the manager, and you don't want about the manager answering the phone or not. The manager isn't, well, obviously, most likely the assistant will know the manager there or not. It will answer automatically. So there are three other features. You have the badging, which automatically places the call on hold and causes the intercom to immediately answer. No answer causes the phone to ring, run onto answer and speakerphone. Right, so also you have these so you see the different three options. You can have the no mute option, or you can actually get it automatically to ring, and then you can use the badger. Also, maybe we don't be able to fit the section. So you might have to do page and next. Yeah. So I had to jump off, guys. I had to try and prepare myself for this. I had to go and call Cisco and thing, because I didn't think that guy will remember. So I had to go and get Cisco on the line and set up teams and all of that.
So you ain't
we had to
getting on.
continue on the next day. Huh?
You ain't getting on the team meeting then, because you're gonna be wrapped up.
Yeah, might be better be on the team meeting.
Yeah. No problem.
All right, next Wednesday, next available day. I really want to finish up the CME. But part of me didn't want to really do the CME because but they still do it in case they come up, it comes up, But I know that, like me, I don't want to be touching it. Yeah, it's really the cool match I want to get into.
I will touch it initially. But,
yeah. Yeah. And it's a good start, because that is where I started, right, to be honest. Although I only did it in my lab. Who knows, one day, if you really want to practice it in Nigeria, we could probably, I think it's with our routers and thing in there, we could download the phone and thing and probably set it up. And just like a session like this, we could do a Teams or something, so everybody, if Ricardo is on also with COVID, we can, demonstrate,
I was thinking about if we had any series could work, a 1900 could work, or that too small in terms of
I'm not sure.
I would love more research because I think we had a 1900, 1941 knocking around.
I think it was the ISR router, I should have been kidding.
Oh, okay. All right, so maybe I could get something hooked up inside the office, switch on the router, and I think we had some older phones there. Andrew always has phones lying around.
Yeah.
I might still be able to get to. But failing that, I could always, as I said, look at a team session. So sounds like you guys have plenty of equipment in Trinidad. So,
Yeah, my voice lab.
yeah, so we
Yeah, my
can work
voice.
that out. A remote something.
Yeah. All right. So tomorrow, Vlad.
I got a SolarWinds upgrade, and I got a RFP due tomorrow. So probably Tuesday.
Thursday.
Tomorrow's Wednesday, right? Thursday better for me. How you look, Megan? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, no problem. So send out the invite for Thursday.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
Martin.
All right. Cool.
All right, Nigel.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.